Hello, I am Badjib Envy of Beyond the Multiverse, and today I want to talk about just a little bit about hard mode Crota. Firstly, I want to say, hear me out. Don't just click the X because I say something that you don't want to hear or that you don't believe. I've done it. I mean, as we can see, I'm wearing the glow hue on my Titan, my 31 Titan. I didn't actually do it on my Titan, I did it on my Hunter, but I wanted to make sure I had the armor shader on while I was doing this video, and I figured I'd do this video while I'm working on my Defender class. Anyway, what I want to say is, to start, Titans are not needed for this raid, or the Crota fight. And I know a lot of people say they are, but my group did it with 4 hunters and 2 warlocks, and I've been told that I'm a retard and there's no possible way, but we just saw my glow hue. And I wouldn't make this up, because I'm a professional, I'm not looking to impress anybody. I already know I have skills, it's just not something I'm going to do, as far as I don't want to mislead the community, I'm not a jackass or anything like that, but so I did it with 4 hunters and 2 warlocks. So the Titans, while they are nice, I'll give you that they are nice to have for various reasons, they are not needed. And anyone who begins to say that they are absolutely necessary and whatever, should be immediately kicked from your group. And, here's why. Just generally speaking, these people are one of 2 types. They are tryhards who need every advantage they can get to be good, in which case they're, obviously not good, so they're probably going to screw other stuff up anyway and end up dismantling your group. Or they're D-bags looking for someone else to lay the blame in front of, It's like, oh, if the Titan would have just popped his bubble here instead of there, I would have survived and whatever. And I've ran into that before. I don't appreciate people like that. I end up leaving the group and whatever, I won't deal with it. And I don't think anyone else should either. Just to kind of move along here, the strats that I've found that work really, really well, like, they work pretty much 100% of the time, provided that the team's timing is good and Crota doesn't glitch, are the center ledge strat and the ogre room strat. Now, the center ledge strat does involve going into the ogre rooms the way that me and my group did it, and you pretty much go in there right when they're going to spawn, and you jump up on the door ledge above them. All of you go to 1, of course. And you kill the first one as it spawns. And this is where, if you have a Titan, it's nice, but if not, it's not needed. You can lay a bubble in the doorway and then just jump over it and shoot the other ogre in the face. And just to note, it is important that all 6 people go to the same room. Like, if someone stays back and goes in the center room or whatever, the other ogre will aggro down into the middle where the group can't see him, so you have to take a lot of risk to try and, get him, or try and kill the ogre. Whereas if you all just go to the room, he just kind of aggros into the middle and stands there stupid while you shoot him. I mean, yeah, he might fire his I-beam, but he'll hit the shield, or, you can avoid it and wait for him to stop or whatever. And it's just a very, very effective, very easy strategy for killing the ogres. Then the second, and then you just go back up to the middle, wait for Crota to go to the middle, or go back into the room with the crystal. Actually, first, and make sure Crota goes back to the middle before you go back to the middle ledge. And that works really well. I mean, after that, you shouldn't get to the second ogres, because you'll probably enrage Crota, which you will anyways, no matter what, in the hard mode, it seems. And that's not a big deal. Just, once he enrages, wait for the thing, and then knock him back down. He's 1 to 2 sword hits from dead. And, at this point, I want to point out that you should have someone designated to start running up to where the sword, where the person the guardian who's using the sword is, because I have had Crota, like, we've gotten him to that point and he stood right back up and smashed our sword bearer, and that's the only reason we had to wipe. It's because we didn't have someone pre-positioned to take over the sword. We got Crota knocked back down and the person was right there. It was actually me. I jumped up and I was right there. I just grabbed the sword, and then the oversoul killed us. So it just, just make sure you have someone set up as a backup, because nothing in the Crota fight is 100%. You know, he's kind of buggy. The game's kind of buggy. Connections can be kind of buggy. You know, there's just a million and one issues that could go on. But, you know, always have that backup designated for that last little part. And the second strat is just the Ogre Room strat. You essentially stay in the Ogre Room and fight Crota from there. I assume, I've never actually ran this one, but I assume what you do is you sit kitty corner from him. I'm sure you can find videos of it on YouTube. But, and then you just, you know, knock him down, knock the sword bearer down, which this strat actually works better for the sword bearer, because the center strat, sometimes the sword bearer will wander off and like go and hide places and be really annoying to kill. So in that sense, I kind of like this strategy more than the ledge strat, but I haven't gotten the chance to try it yet because I only have my one level 32. I mean, this Titan could be there if I get my armor leveled up today or tomorrow, but you know, that's the big difference in my opinion, is just you fight him, I assume, from kitty corner, because that way he can't shoot you, and you just have to switch rooms whenever he runs to the middle, you know, and wait for him to go to the other side. Obviously, kill the ogres or the one ogre while you're in the room with it, and then kill the other ogre, you know, when it walks over. Pretty easy. Lastly, I kind of want to touch on all these people that are claiming they've done the hard raid and that they know the good strategy for it. Because I've ran into a few of them who are like, no, you just do the same thing as the normal raid, and that's not true. I mean, if anyone says that, I don't care if they're 32 with a max Galahorn, kick them from your group. Because they're not going to listen to you. I ran into one just the other day. You know, it was like the last day before the reset, and I was doing normal on my Titan to try and get his last reward. And the kid was so insistent on doing it his way that we couldn't get it done, even though we had two people who had finished the hard raid, and we had two other 32s, and, you know, we had 130, but that's not a big deal when you have so many other higher levels. And he was just so set on doing it his way that he would not listen. He would not move to where we were, you know. And finally, me and the other people who had completed the hard raid left and started our own group. And we did it in less than 5 minutes. We didn't even wipe, not once. We went in, killed Crota, it was done. I mean, it was so easy. If the kid would have just listened, he could have gotten a free Crota kill. But he just would not listen. And, you know, it's just ridiculous when people like he claimed that he had done Crota hard mode, but he didn't get Glow Who, and that he got the Crux of Crota. But everything I've read has said you need Glow Who to get the Crux of Crota. So, you know, on that front, I really did not believe him, and his strategy just would not work in hard mode, at least not in my professional opinion. And the kid even went so far as to say, because I was using my Galahorn, that I should switch to my Red Death or my Soros regime, because the Soros only has a chance to give me health back, but the Red Death gives me health back all the time. And that's what I should use in the hard raid no matter what. And it's like, I have a full Galahorn, like maxed out. It holds 7 rockets. You know, that's pretty much 7 Crota downs if your team is good and gets the timing down good, and you only have to fire 1 rocket apiece. And it's just like, why would I use exotic primary? Like my hunter has the Mask of the Third Man or whatever, which gives me health for orbs, which is a much better trade-off in my honest opinion, because it also boosts my super. And like right now I'm working up the insurmountable Skull Fort for my Titan for the same reason. I mean, it doesn't, you know, give me the super I want, but it gives me health for orbs, so if I need to switch out my helmet, then I can do that. And, you know, get health for orbs or whatever, you know, if I need it. It's just, like, the kid's whole idea of how the hard raid worked was just so flawed, and he would not listen to anybody. He had 4 of us trying to tell him that he was wrong, and whatever, and just ridiculous. And it's those kind of people that won't listen that will make you fail the hard raid so much that you'll want to gouge your own eyeballs out. So that's why I say, you know, if they say anything that just seems overtly stupid, kick them from your party. Like, just kick them. Like, I understand there are people who are new And I'm willing to work with those people. I've ran 27s through Crota normal. You know, I've done it. I've explained how the grade works. You know, I've done Vault of Glass with newbies and explained how all that works. You know, I'm not above helping new people, but when they say stupid things like they try and tell me what guns to use or where to stand, I've actually had people tell me where to stand in the Atheon fight in Vault of Glass because I don't stand in the bubble. They're like, oh no, you should be here. And it's like, well, this way I get 3-4 more hits before I have to move because of the shield depleting on you guys, you know, and that sort of stuff. It irritates me when people try and tell me when I know what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. I'd prefer it if people would ask me why I'm not doing what they expect me to do, because generally I will explain my reasoning. Like, my reason for not standing in the bubble with everyone else in the Atheon fight is that I stand in the back with my Black Hammer or my Icebreaker, and I just pound him from there, you know, and I'll hit him with my Galahorn or my Hunger of Crota. And it takes his health down so much faster, and he's aggroed on them in the shield anyway, so it doesn't really hurt me to be outside of the shield, you know.